Kurt sneaks into his father's military base. What's up, horror fiends? Are you looking for some undead chaos? Well, you've come to the right place, because today we got 10 zombie movies that you need to see. While I will be talking about some classics, we also have some lesser known films on the list. So grab your survival kit and come with me as we dive into the land of the dead. Let's start with a personal favorite, Return of the Living Dead 3. This one derails from the punk rock tone of the first film, and we go to more of a body horror / grotesque love story. Kurt and Julie are in love, and after a tragic motorcycle accident takes Julie's life, well, Kurt is grief-stricken and has no choice but to sneak into the military lab where his father works and revive Julie using the trioxin gas. We know where this is going. However, Julie doesn't just return to life, she fights the urge by sticking things like nails, metal, and glass, all kind of things inside of her body to fend off the hunger. This film is fantastic. It's my favorite zombie movie of all time. Yes, you heard that right. I love the tragic love story. It's got a very depressing ending for a zombie film, and that says a lot considering the genre. Unlike the previous Return to the Living Dead films, this one leans more into a darker horror, focused more on tragedy, and the damn gore is fantastic in this film as well. Love the practical effects. This is a very unique and memorable zombie film in my opinion. This is definitely one that you need to check out if you've never seen it, not to mention the rewatch value is fantastic. Next up, we have The Night Eats the World. Have you ever partied so hard that you woke up to an absolute nightmare? Well, have you ever woke up and discovered that there was an undead horde of zombies around? Well, if not, then you should check this movie out because it's definitely one that you need to see as well. The movie revolves around Sam, who thinks it's a good idea to crash his ex's party. Well, he gets blackout drunk, wakes up, and all of a sudden the undead are roaming all around. Pretty creepy, huh? What makes this one stand out is its introspective nature. There's not a lot of dialogue going on here, but it relies more on the atmosphere and the isolation, as that is a big theme throughout the film. If you were a fan of the movie Castaway but wish that Wilson was a zombie head, this movie's definitely for you. This is one of the more unique zombie films on the list, but it's a damn good one and you need to watch it. Coming up next, we have Pontypool, but this isn't your typical infection movie. Instead of you getting infected via bite or blood disease, well, this one does it through language. I know, weird, right? The movie takes place mostly inside of a small town radio station where the DJ is trying to figure out what the hell's going on the outside world. As they get more and more reports of people roaming around and the undead, they are really trying to make heads or tails of what's going on. What starts as just reports of extreme violence and riots soon leans into a more dangerous realization. Certain words are triggering people to go into full-blown rage mode. This one relies more on atmosphere and will definitely have you questioning the words that come out of your mouth after you watch it. It's definitely a unique zombie film. It stands on its own and it's a great concept. Definitely watch this one. Next up, we got Wyrmwood, Road of the Dead. If Mad Max and Dawn of the Dead had a love child, it would be this film. It is brutal, it is balls to the wall crazy, and it doesn't skip on the action either. That's right, this is one of the most high energy, over-the-top zombie films that you will ever see. No, I'm serious. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch this right now. We're talking DIY armor, zombie-fueled vehicles, and all of the blood and gore that you can fit into a film. And the zombies in this film are very unique because their blood and their breath can be used as fuel. So of course it doesn't take long for the humans to weaponize them. If you're into non-stop action, creative gore, then Wyrmwood, Road of the Dead is for you. This is one of my favorite zombie movies ever made. Next up, we have Serpent in the Rainbow. Before zombies were fast, before virus outbreaks, zombies were all about voodoo, and Serpent in the Rainbow gives you a bunch of that. Bill Pullman plays a researcher in Haiti investigating a zombie drug. That's right, you take a drug, it makes you a zombie. But not the undead, flesh-eating type that you would think. This one's based more on folklore and it focuses on people being buried alive. I know it's not technically like a real conventional zombie film, but it still counts. It's one of my favorite Wes Craven films. It's filled with eerie, dark undertones and some fantastic practical effects. If you like horror dripping with psychological dread, this movie is for you. This is a must watch and it's one of my favorite Wes Craven films. Coming in at number 6, we have Train to Busan. You didn't think I was going to leave this emotional roller coaster off the list, did you? You have high-intensity action and some of the scariest zombies that we've seen since 28 Days Later. The movie revolves around a father and a daughter who are stuck on a train just as a zombie outbreak is starting to occur. This is one of the most emotional zombie movies I've ever seen, and what sets it apart from the others is you actually really care about the characters. It's one of the best foreign zombie films I've ever seen. It's got action, it's got horror, it's got an emotional bond that you will hate yourself for having by the time you get to the end of the film. Train to Busan really upped the stakes in every way possible when it came to a zombie film. If you've never seen this is definitely a must-watch as well. Next on the list, we have Dead and Buried from 1981. Now, this is one that doesn't get enough love. Tourists are being murdered only to reappear the next day completely normal. Or are they? It's a slow burn mystery with an incredibly creepy atmosphere, and there are some really good kills in this film as well, not to mention a scene where a needle goes into an eyeball. It gives you the heebie-jeebies. The less you know going into this movie, the better you are. Trust me, the ending alone is worth the watch. Coming up next, we got Cemetery Man. Have you ever seen a movie that's part zombie movie, half existential crisis? Cemetery Man is that in a nutshell. It follows a graveyard caretaker who takes care of corpses that just refuses to stay buried, but it's more than just a zombie movie. It's a weird, artsy, mind-bending movie that explores themes of love, death, and madness, and it does it really well. This is one for fans of the weird and wonderful. I have to tell you, you will not regret it. You'll want to own this movie after you've seen it. Next up, we got One Cut of the Dead. Okay, so I can't really say too much about this movie without spoiling it, but the first 30 minutes will have you wanting to turn it off, but after that, it drastically shifts gears and it locks you in. It starts as a low-budget zombie flick, but then it completely takes you off guard. Just trust me, if you can get past the first half of the movie, you will not regret it. And by the time you get to the end credits, you're going to think this is one of the most brilliant zombie movies that we've been given in a really long time. You will not regret this watch. And last but not least, we have The Battery, a movie that focuses on two baseball players who are just really trying to survive. It's super indie, super effective. There's no zombie hordes here. It's just all about survival. If you love slow burn apocalypse movies, this one will definitely be for you. I cannot get enough of this film. It is masterfully done and it's a beautiful film to boot. And there you have it, 10 zombie movies that you need to see. Did I miss any of your favorites? Drop them in the comments and let me know. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any spooky content. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.